What is up, my homies? This is the part 2. I hope you liked part 1, and I hope you like this one too. With that said, let us get into it. Gossip spreads quickly in terrified communities. Stories that keep the more fearful lizard folk in their passageways. Hush, tales that frighten the most commanding of stone constructs and wood folk and creatures of the plains. Fear travels between the trees and the valleys. A demon fallen from the sky, mighty enough to slay providences and his worms. Only 2 arms, 2 legs, but with 22 unblinking crimson eyes. Thank you for your participation in the auction. We've included a short history on the film, as well as the documents to verify its authenticity. This is the famous bandolier worn by B. Gruddy himself. He and his pals used to raise terror all over the map of the new territories. Their favorite activity was to tie up people they didn't like and drag them behind their horses. Gruddy clearly had a sweet spot for the old days. The sling carries an impressive assortment of ammunition. Gruddy himself carried many different guns. It was rumored that he held out for 3 whole days, nights before their weapons ran dry. Ancient secrets, transmutations, alchemy. Nothing more than nonsense. Pursuits of rightly intentioned but grossly misled minds, or so I thought. This item, unexpectedly, physical properties are reason enough to say my immediate dismissals. Strange fortune led this book to me, and stranger knowledge still fills the pages, chilling. Even it concludes in chapter 8. But even iron can become gold, but only through a ritual of intense bloodletting. A thought disturbing enough without consideration the bountiful riches that accompanied the state. The takeaway above all else seemed to be that you cannot get something from nothing. Even the very paper of the tomb turned to ash as I tried to make photocopies. Whatever was on the first 2 pages, it was lost forever. I need transcriptions of the rest by hand. And I know you take pride in your precision. And more importantly, Costa, I trust you. Don't do anything that would draw attention to yourself. I will try to find the other volumes. This is knowledge too dangerous to lose. The planet was unforgiving, taking more and more with each passing day. Lives and limbs were lost, but the medical tent grew increasingly busy. Jans was unfortunate enough to talk right into a group of Lemurians during a routine check around the rally point perimeter. He was lucky enough to escape with his life, but the Lemurians wounded his leg before a backup arrived. Jans leaned back in his cot. He strummed the strings of his ukulele, which he had picked up from an earlier expedition. As he contemplated his thoughts, nothing too complex, but just as a simple tune that he had picked up back when he took lessons as a child. Unbeknownst to him, one by one, he had gathered himself an audience. The gentle melodies of Jan's ukulele brought a rare comfort to the pained and labored patients. And for the first time since admittance, they felt like they could smile. Life in the medical tent was never something anybody could look forward to. Death, irreversible injuries, and a choking atmosphere surrounding them. But for a brief moment, the lives of those patients became that much brighter. Jan stopped, surveying the crowd, intently watching him. He laughed, readying himself for an encore. Maybe things wouldn't be so bad after all. His music was electric. Everyone else said that I was crazy to search for lost artifacts on Mars. Idiots. There hasn't been any proof of a previous civilization, but I've always trusted my gut. The skull proves that I'm right, that something did exist here before. That smug professor at the university always disparaging my research. I loved seeing that look on his face as I shook his hand. Idiot. Karma must have been working overtime. I heard he felt ill shortly after. I suppose my success was just too much for him. In fact, everyone I've shown seems to not be returning my calls. Are they avoiding me? Are they scared this news would shake up the academic communities? Too proud to admit I'm right? I'll find someone who will give me the recognition I deserve. I've worked too hard and done too much. If I don't keep going, I think I might just die. Let's see. The War of 2019. While lasting only a brief year, was the bloodiest conflict in human history. As the war got deadlier throughout the year, many rebel groups began to rely on tradition and history for inspiration. The war horn, pictured above, was a favorite of the Northern Fist Rebellion for both and its inspirational and tactical users. Exhibit at the National World War 19 World WW19 Museum. As humanity began to venture out into the depths of space, high energy but low volume fuel sources became critical for interplanetary travel. Stability came later. Brief history of the interplanetary advances, Volume 2. Old guillotine. That's what it's called in high school. Everyone is still operating on adrenaline here. We finally overthrew our oppressors and have taken back Premise V or 5. I know some of the overlords will attempt to buy their way out onto a stealth transport, but that's going to be quite difficult due to their epic economic blunder. We don't just want blood for all the injustices we suffered at their hands. We want to send a message to would-be sympathizers. This old guillotine will serve both as an execution method and a symbol to strike fear into their hearts wherever they may be hiding. Premise 5 is alive. What was it just on? Okay, here we go. You don't want to rename it Bill of the Wisp? No. Jar Ed? No. Then what about Flare Ed? Stop. It needs a name. It's no diff Byron than you or me. Next time we're at base, I'm applying for a transfer. You know that won't go through until at least December. How long have you been waiting to see these? Coming up with them on the spot? I've got a good head on my shoulders. You can't stop emphasizing those words so much. I get it. I will never stop fueling around. Want to grab something to eat when we get back? Thank the stars that's over, yes. I hope they're not serving that gruel we had yesterday. Maybe they'll cook you up a pepperoni pizza. Hey, wait up. I can't run holding this thing. It might go off. It's like a wisp. Cool. Or what? Okay. Feather. European laws have cracked down heavily on poaching, with the intent to help the re-emergence of the Hapu. Since when the Greebox Foundation has helped support Hupu conservation groups, substantially growing their population beyond the initial 3 that were recorded in recent years. European Wildlife Guide. Ah yes. Should passion die down? Should light be extinguished? Will you bring me patience? Will you die with me? The Syzygy of Io and Europa. I'm not going nowhere. What I do is important, and no plague is going to stop me from getting that done. City folk are all up in a tizzy over this and that. Scared that y'all will pass without doing some crazy goals you set for yourself? But me, I'm not afraid of death. Suffering is just another part of life, and like labor, I can do it myself. To death, I say, I don't need your damn help. Unnamed farmer, tragedy of Mercury, a history. Should memories be lost? Should oceans be clouded? Will you bring me a fervor? Will you die with me? The Syzygy of Io and Europa. Bunch of address stuff. Contains samples from bears, leeches, tigers, elephants, sharks, bull sharks, ants, anteaters. Simply hook up to a dialysis machine along with the necessary equipment and swap out your blood for genetically superior ones. You can add whatever blood sample you want as far as I know. Just make sure you take the pills that allow the body to accept the new blood, or your body will reject the cross-species infusion. Remember that sampling from other animals is a great basis for experimentation. Yeah, wax quail. Hello, Boo. Pew? How are you doing this? How are you doing? This is Mama. The weather here has been dreadful. It is raining every day. We have recently found a new bakery nearby that has delicious sandwiches. Papa has recently taken up whittling. He uses wax because it's softer. I have attached one of his favorites. Hopefully it has not been dingled in the mail. Anyways, I will leave Boo alone. I hope to see you soon, Mama. They're in the UK, always raining. Fixing a spare bayonet, gosh dang it, onto a shotgun, he glances at the horizon. The thundering of his footsteps, big and small, was growing louder and louder. They were nearing upon him. He went over his kit one last time. 5 bayonets, 23 packs of incendiary explosives, 15 magazines of armor-piercing ammunitions, 33 sticky bombs, 4 tear gas grenades, and so on. And his favorite? 2 shoulder-mounted missile launchers loaded with 6 ATG Viper missiles. Heat-seeking detonation power of 15 pounds of TNT per missile. Lightweight, and the best part? Automatic firing mechanisms. He initially favored a more analog approach to his weapons, but the thing had grown on him. Turning to face the oncoming mob, he loaded his shotgun and the adrenaline started pumping. Bring it on. We managed to round up all the local old war artifacts that we could find. A lot of interesting things here. Rifles, rations, pamphlets. We even found a prototype stealth kit in the fantastic condition. That could be a great centerpiece for your exhibit. However, a slight issue. In transit, the truck hit a pothole and jostled all the ship. It seemed to have actually activated the stealth drive and some strange short circuit, and our team can't actually confirm the location of the stealth kit. It should be in one of those boxes. We will be expecting the commission to include the stealth kit. Yeah, that's just, as you see, that's just the same. Gosh dang, the 2 seeds. It was a crisp evening and things were looking up. The botanist began walking towards the plant biology complex to check on several alien plants that had been recovered from the week before him. Another worker was already in the complex, busy at work. Hey, oh, hello. The worker greeted her enthusiastically. He was carrying several bags of fertilizer, and she gave him a quizzical look. You need any help with those? She said, gathering her clipboard for her check. Oh no, I'm alright. It's a good workout actually, he said. As they walked and the botanist couldn't help but wonder what kind of job would require that much fertilizer. At the door to the greenhouse whirled open, she got her answer. Roots scaling the height of the greenhouse and snaking along the ceiling, even evading the containers of other specimens. What the hell? She cried. Her jaw slacked, and then she noticed the other plants. Every other plant in the greenhouse had withered, with an incriminating root leading back to the overgrowth that the worker was now feeding fertilizer. The botanist was speechless. What happened? What is that? She stammered. The worker looked to her and grinned. One of the species we got in the last expedition. He demands a lot of nutrients. It took me so long to get him to even sprout. I was racking my brain, even trying every trick in the book, and every other specimen seemed to be growing fine, so I figured, hey, why not share some of that? And look. Spreading his arms, the worker marveled at the gallery of dead planets. Dropping her clipboard, the botanist's stomach sank. Things were no longer looking up. Ooh, Chronobobble. Weren't you just a kid? Summer breaks feels like it's just so recent, but it's been 10 years, hasn't it? Life moves faster and faster as you get older. Less moments to remember, to cement you in time. I don't even remember being 25. How did I forget an entire year? Anyways, I found this in a trinket shop on Mercury, a chronobobble. The seller said something about special relativity, real heavy distortions or something. I didn't really get it. It's supposed to slow down time around it, right? Anyways, I'm shipping this to myself to arrive in 10 years. A gift from me to me. A reminder to make memories. to slow down a bit. 10 years will pass so quick. Try to remember them. You've got to put in the effort in life. By the way, Mama, should have sent over another package as well. Let me know if you get it, Papa. Give it a shield. Going to 594 South River, IO. Check one whip. Red. Priority shipping. Going to oh wow. Signal echoes UES contact light. They should make a character with a whip. If they don't have one in the, yeah, I don't think there is one. Like the first one, I can't remember. It's disgusting. It's only mildly disturbing. You're overreacting. Well, when it turns on us, don't come crying to me. It seems like it wants to only help us, so I'd rather have it close in case that dangerous looking group comes back around. I swear there's more than one. It's everywhere I look. The storage locker, the food dispenser, the cargo container, everywhere. You're over-exaggerating. You're exaggerating. It's probably just following you. Snap out of it. Ow, did you just smack me? You're acting hysterical. I had to. Hey, why is that thing looking at me now? This thing is cool. You gotta love the squid polyp. Dear Stalinia, I haven't been able to visit for a while, so I hope you and Libra are doing well. I heard that you're clearing the land there and want to spruce things up. I'm sending this flower I picked in the carbon fields of Electron Valley. The terraformers there told me that over time, landscaping efforts were improved by the organic-based signals sent out by this planet. I've been helping them build a new world. Just make sure to put it up high enough that Mushka can get to it. I'm not sure what the effect it'll have on dogs. Mushka, Mishka, Mickey Mouse. You were right to come to me for this premium barbed wire. The other retail models won't get the job done like I do. Just cutting up invaders isn't enough. No, sir. I built in a secret defense mechanism. By cramming as many razors, X-Acto knives, and other blades I could find into this thing, the beauty is a powder keg just waiting to burst. This is my greatest work yet. If I don't get good reviews, expect to hear from my lawyers. Another antique for the collection. This bad boy was found on the battlefield where much of the war was fought. The excavation site was littered with bones, all surrounding the remains of one rebel soldier who was carrying this artifact. According to heresy and rumors, rebel soldiers wearing pauldrons, much like this one, would enter trances on the battlefield. Time would slow down, and all they could see was the enemy. Of course, it's just speculation, but there were a lot of bodies surrounding this thing's old owner. Be careful, okay? That is it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing. If you liked it, let me know in the comments. That is all. Adios.